now hopefully you are all comfortable with number systems, binary numbers, octal, hexadecimal, decimal, of course. But now since you are getting familiar with all these quantities, what are quantity and values and what are numbers, how the quantity is getting encoded as a number. So when you are getting familiar with these things, so now is the time that I can play with your minds again and introduce you to a concept with a level higher to what we have understood so far, and that is the idea of signed numbers. So the idea of signed numbers we will introduce in this lecture and in this series or in this set of in this module. So we will be dealing with signed numbers and how to actually work with signed numbers. So just think back that the numbers that we had actually dealt with were all positive numbers, right? So we listed down our numbers starting from 0 and going forward in the positive direction. So we did not deal with numbers which are lower than 0. So numbers which are negative quantities. So numbers which represent negative quantities. So as such, in decimal we are very familiar with positive and negative numbers, and we simply use a minus sign. We can always use a minus sign basically wherever we the negative number, and use a plus sign or not use any sign when we are using when you are trying to portray that this number is a positive, this quantity this number is a positive number, that means it is representing a positive. But we want uh, our computers or some machines to work with numbers. Okay, so work with numbers. So as we will come to know, or perhaps you already have an idea that in the computers that we use, basically they are they can work only with 0 and 1, like the bits, the binary bits are the only things that they can manipulate. They can manipulate means they can work with, they can do some operation with only zeros and ones, and hence there is a need to represent numbers not by signs as plus and minus, but by some other convention which will use the digits of the number system themselves in order to represent a positive and a negative quantity. So for binary number systems we will use the 0 and 1 and give it some convention of being positive or negative. For in general, for any number system we can always do this, we can always use the digits of the number system for the for understanding the sign of the number. So we will look at numbers from that perspective, and hence this is this module is called signed numbers. So we will look into numbers with uh, the mindset that we are looking at signed numbers now, and not simply numbers which are by default positive. So these numbers which we will be looking at in this set of lectures will be signed numbers, and you have to now change your vision a bit, change your perspective a bit. So now as you will change your perspective looking at a number, you will be looking at the number from the perspective of a signed number and not a simple number in a particular number system. However, the ideas that we have developed will be carried forward and some new ideas will be imposed on that. So just have the ideas in your mind and then look into this signed numbers. So the first representation of signed numbers is called the sign magnitude representation, which is a very straightforward representation where we use the MSB to denote the sign. So the MSB, or the most significant bit. So in this lecture we are dealing with binary system basically. So we are dealing with positive and negative binary numbers only. So we will not be talking about octal, decimal and hexadecimal in this particular lecture. So we are talking about MSB, that is the most significant bit, and that is used to denote the sign. So whatever be a number, suppose I write down a number here, suppose I write down a number like this. So previously in our normal binary and now signed binaries or signed magnitude. In normal binary this number was, you know that this would be 11, right? 8 plus 2 10 plus 1 11. So 11 is not a good number to go here because again 1 and 1. So let us take 9. So the quantities that are getting represented when this number is in normal binary, the quantity is 9, and of course this is plus 9. Know that the magnitude positive in normal binary. But in signed magnitude representation, what happens? You see, you have to note down the MSB first. So any number you see and it is told to you that it is in a signed magnitude representation, you have to note the MSB first in order to determine the sign of the number. If the MSB is 0, it is positive. If it is 1, it is negative. What is the MSB here? 1. So a minus sign automatically comes. So sign magnitude, you first write the minus sign. Then you evaluate the magnitude. The magnitude is the remaining part. So you leave aside the MSB, whatever is there, whatever bits are there, that form the magnitude part. What is the magnitude here? Only 1, because 001 is nothing but 1. So this is minus 1. So if this same number, this same code, this same number in normal binary denotes the quantity of 9, in signed magnitude denotes the quantity of minus 1. I hope I have been able to come across with this idea. So you see here another example where we are trying to represent plus 85 and minus 85 in signed magnitude. 2sm, why 2? Because it is binary sign magnitude, so that's why 2sm is written. 2 means binary, sm means sign magnitude. So we are denoting the number after the number, the suffix. Normally when we write 2, that it means it is a binary number. Now we write it as 2sm, means it is a binary signed magnitude representation. So when you look at the number as binary signed magnitude, then you have to see the MSB. So you see in positive number the MSB is 0, in the negative number the MSB is 1, whereas the rest of the number remains the same. And if you evaluate this number this much only, if you evaluate this number, then you will get 85 as the quantity. So you can do the expansion and see it will come as 85. So the first one is plus 85 and the next one is minus 85. So in this way you can represent any quantity, be it positive or negative, using the signed magnitude convention. So first, any quantity, whatever quantity is there, q some quantity is there, you write down the number n associated with it. This number n will be some, this is basically some n bit binary number. Now I want this to be basically I want a plus q or a minus q. I will represent a either a plus q or a minus q, right? So when I am representing plus q, I am simply putting a 0 before this number n. So n is basically a string of n bits. Okay, n, this capital N is basically a string of n bits. So that evaluates to q, and when I am writing minus q, I am writing it as 1n. So that is the only difference. Okay, so it reads as on and in 0n and 1n. So another thing is there, you might be asked to represent the quantity plus q in suppose m bits, binary sign magnitude. Of course, you can understand that this m must be greater than n, because n bits are already required to represent this quantity in binary. So your two sign magnitude must have at least one bit more than n, so m must be greater than n. So if your m is n plus 1, then plus q and minus q are like this. Suppose your m is n plus 2, then your plus q would be, so this is not basically, quantity is not equal to the number, so I am using an arrow sign. This is the quantity and here is the number. The number would be 0 0 n. 0 is the sign, this much is n bits. This capital N consumes the n number of bits. N plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 2, total bits are n plus 2 here. The MSB is 0 because I am representing the plus sign with this. The remaining gives me the magnitude. So since the magnitude is represented by n bits, but I need another additional bit here, of course this bit will be 0. Similarly, for minus q, the first bit will be 1, but this extra bit, additional bit, that I have to fill in, because I have to use n plus 2 number of bits, because the problem is given that way, the representation is in that way. So I have to use n plus 2 bits. So after n, since the magnitude represented by n number of bits here, I add another 0 here and then add the 1 at the end. I hope this is clear to you. So this is about signed magnitude representation. So I hope you can understand that if I have a n bit number, n bit signed magnitude number, if I have a n bit signed magnitude number, so suppose this number is there, this is n bits. How many bits are there? 448. So in that n bits, the position number, what is this position? This is n minus 1th position. This one is the n minus 1th position. 0 position, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 7 is 8 minus 1, that is 7. This is the n minus 1th position. So for a n bit number, what is the how many bits are taken to represent the magnitude? N minus 1, not n. Okay, because this nth bit is for your sign, but this nth bit is in position number n minus 1, and in the n minus 1 remaining bits, what is the maximum position number? N minus 2. N minus 2 is the maximum position number. So what would be the range of values? So if you have n minus 2 bits, the maximum magnitude would be 2n minus 1 minus 1. So if you had this is already known that if you have m number of bits, then the maximum value that you can represent is 2m minus 1. This is for normal binary. Now for signed magnitude, if you have n bit, then the magnitude is represented by n minus 1 bits, and hence the maximum value is 2n minus 1, and this is positive, and the negative will be simply minus 2n minus 1 minus. The same value will also have a corresponding negative, corresponding negative value will also have a number here, just by replacing the MSB with 1 instead of 0. So your range is this, minus 2n minus 1 minus 1 to 2n minus 1 minus, that is your range. So these ranges are important things to note. So you can be asked what is the range of a normal binary, what is the range of a signed magnitude, and what is the range of the other different representations come across, which are basically the complementary representations. So this is the range of the signed magnitude. Now you see that in this signed magnitude representation, there are two representations of 0, because 0 can be represented either like this, as you can see here, all zeros in the magnitude part and an additional 0 as the sign, all zeros in the magnitude part and an additional 1 at the sign. So this is in 8-bit representation. The 0 in 8-bit representation is looking like this. If you had a 4-bit representation, then it would be simply 0 0 0 0 or 1 0 0 0. Both would be plus 0 or minus. So during this discussion, I hope you can understand that along with the number being of a signed magnitude nature, we are also pointing out the number of bits, the length of the number. So both come together, the length as well as the system in which we are representing. Both have to be specified. Previously in normal binary, so when we know we are in normal binary, we have to only specify the length of the number. So if additional positions were padded with zeros in the left. Now along with the length, we have to also mention what is the sign convention we are adopting, whether we are in the sign magnitude representation or in some other representation, that we will have to also notify. So this is about the sign magnitude representation, and you will find out that the binary addition algorithm will not work in this. Just let us do a quick example. Maybe we can take this. So we had a example here, right? Plus 85. So plus 85 minus 85 must give you 0, isn't it so? But let us do the addition. 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. This is plus 85, and minus 85 is 1 1 0 1 0 1 0. So if you add these two, since this is the representation of plus 85, this is the representation of minus 85, they should add up to 0. But what are they adding up to? You see that they are adding up to this quantity. So this quantity they are adding up to, and this is definitely not 0 in the signed magnitude representation. Since you are adding in the signed magnitude, so since you are adding in the signed magnitude, this is also expected to be a number in the signed magnitude representation, which would encode 0. But we know that in signed magnitude the encoding of 0 means that apart from the MSB all other quantities must be 0, but this is not happening, and this will never happen actually. So the binary addition algorithm, what algorithm we use for addition? Simple binary addition. So the simple binary addition algorithm does not work in the signed magnitude representation system. Is there another algorithm that is working? We don't know. People may have tried, but they may have not got any working algorithm in the signed magnitude representation. So they have left it. Signed magnitude representation is useful, can be useful in representing a signed number, but it is not useful for any arithmetic operation. So we have to leave it. Just with the knowledge of signed magnitude representation, we have to leave it, because we are not able to utilize it for any useful arithmetic operation. So to go to useful arithmetic operation, we have to come to this system, which is the radix complement representation and the diminished radix complement representation. So first we will consider the radix complement representation. Here I am trying to give you a general view of the radix complement representation, and then we will look at the binary look at the complement representations in binary number system. And since radix complement, you can understand the radix in binary is 2, so we will be looking at the 2's complement representation. Diminished radix would be the 1's complement representation. Let us look at the theory. Now I give a caveat here, or I raise a flag actually. Just listen to the theory. However, if you are unable to comprehend the theory to a to any extent, if you are unable to comprehend the theory, don't bother about it. Don't feel that you are unable to grasp the concept, so your life is doomed. Nothing like that. For the working knowledge of this subject, the understanding of the theory is not so important. The understanding of how we will work with the complement representation would be more important, which is quite straightforward and would be taken up in the next lecture basically. So in this lecture we will be covering the theoretical part. So just stay with me, even if you don't get it fully, stay with me, and try to see how further you are able to grasp the concept, grasp the idea. Is not very difficult, but also not so straightforward. And perhaps this is perhaps the most involved part of the entire course, maybe. So probably the most involved part, but as you see, it is not actually so involved. So the course itself is not so involved. It is quite a straightforward course, but there is a certain things are there. Of course, one can of course go into each of the things very deep, but for the purpose of the course we are not doing that, because it is a UG level course. So let us look at the radix complement representation, how it is framed. So what we are saying is that if there is a relationship between two quantities q and q bar or q dashed, So q dashed I have written here. Sometimes you will see bar. So if there is a relationship between two quantities, so these are not numbers. The q and q bar, q dashed are not numbers, they are quantities. R is a value, r raised to the power of n is also a value. So if we have a relationship like this, q dashed equals to r to the power of n minus q, where q and q dashed definitely are two values, then if this value q is represented by the n digit number capital and n digit number n in the r radix system, so n is a number, so there would be several digits placed one after another. So this is a positional number, so there are several digits placed one after another. How many digits? N digits. This is mentioned. This appears here also. Note, this also appears here. So this is important. The length of the number is important because it comes in the very definition. So if q is represented by the n digit number nr and q dashed is represented by n dashed r, so q dash should also be represented, obviously q dash will also be represented by another number, then n dashed r is defined as the r complement of nr. Note, both q dashed and q are positive quantities because q, when represented by a n digit number nr, will yield a quantity which is less than r to the power of n. N digit numbers, normal n digit numbers are able to represent r to the power of n, r to the power of n minus 1, right? We have n digit number r to the power of n minus 1 here outside, 0 to r to the power of n minus 1 they can represent. So of course this q would be less than r to the power of n, hence q dashed would be a positive number again a positive quantity. So both this number nr and n dashed r are positive, are representing positive quantity in normal binary, right? In normal binary they are representing positive quantity. This number n dashed r is defined as the r complement of nr. It is simply a definition. We just note that if there is a relationship between the quantities like this, then the number that would represent this q dashed would be called the r complement of the number that would represent q, when the relationship between q dashed and q are like this. Okay, so there would always be a number q dashed for any there will always be a quantity q dash for any quantity q, which can be represented by a number of this nature or an n digit number nr, that you can obviously understand, and this relationship is quite unique. So for a particular q dash will come up, for a new q another q dash will come up. So this is like a very one-to-one relationship. Now going ahead, what we are stating, we just observe another thing, that which is this, that the r complement of n is n dashed. That is true when we take the r complement of n dash, then we get back n. That is very easy to see, because what is basically a complement of a number? The complement of a number is r to the power of n minus the quantity represented by the number. So here if I am saying that this quantity which is represented by n dash, so this n dash is the complement of n when I have this relationship. So the complement of n dash, what would be the complement of n dash? I will simply have to do this rn minus q dash, because n dash, now n dash represents the value of q dash. So I have to do this operation rn minus q dash, and whatever value comes I have to represent it in normal binary, not binary, in the normal number system of radix r. So that would be my complement of n dash. N dash is already the number representing q dash. Now we know that from this relationship it is very easy to see that rn minus q dash is q. So n dash of uh, the complement of n dash would be nothing but n, the number representing q. That would be the number, that would be the complement. So you see that complement of the complement gives back the same number. So if you start with a number, take a complement, you get some number, you take another complement, you get back the number. This happens in every number system. This is true in every number system. This is the beauty of complements. This is the beauty of complements. Two numbers are complements of each other. So these two numbers, when we say that one number is complement of the other, we basically also mean that they are complements of each other. So this is a observation. This is some observation. You have any two quantities which are related by this form, in this form represented in the green, in the green text. If they are represented in this form, if they can be expressed in this form, two quantities, then the numbers used to represent these two quantities are called r complement of each other. This is a definition, and this comes from an observation basically. And in any number system, you will using this definition, you will be able to find out pairs of complement numbers. You will be able to find out pairs of complement numbers by using this definition. That is about complements. But how does this enable us to represent negative numbers? That is the question. So just before going there, before asking the question how does it enable us to represent negative numbers, we try to see how we can actually form the complement number when a number is given. So I am telling you, right, that we can find out two numbers which are complements of each other. The complement pairs we can find out in any number system. So if you are given a number system and you are told the length of the number, you will be able to write down all numbers which are possible in that particular length of the number, and from that list of numbers you will be able to pick up complement pairs. So how to do that pairing? There is an easy way to do that. You don't have to go through all this long definition, don't need to find out the exact value and then find out the complement value and then find out the number. No need, there is a straightforward method. That straightforward method is detailed here. How to, so this slide answers the question how to find the R complement of a number, not a quantity. So when you are given a number, you don't even need to know what is the quantity represented by the number. You are just given a number, you can simply find out the complement of that number. Simply find out the R complement of that number. How to do that? You look at this. So from the very definition you can come to this. So what we have done, we have simply denoted every quantity in this equation with the number, with its number. So n dashed is the number for q dashed. For r to the power n, it is like this. So r to the power n is a value, we are representing it with a number in the r base. So I have written it like this, and this is the number representing q, also in r base. So I am interested in finding out this number given this number. Given this number means I am given a string of digits d1 d2 some dn minus 1 dn minus 2 dn minus 3 up to d2 d1 d0. I am given this string of digits. This number is nothing but a string of digits of length n, this n. So how I am going to find out this number? So you look at this right hand side. In the right hand side have been written in a different manner. I have just added a -1 and a +1 I have done. Now this thing, I hope you understand that this thing is equivalent to this thing, where q is r minus 1, which is the maximum digit possible. So if you let me just give you an example in binary. So suppose I have this number 1000 and I simply subtract 1 from it, what I will get is 111. So I will get a number of length n. So this length is basically, so what is the length of r to the power of n represented in the r base? It is actually n plus 1, and the n plus 1th bit, so the it is length of n plus 1, and the MSB has position n. This is the position n, and that would be 1. I hope you remember this, that r square, any r square is basically represented as 100. R is represented as 10. So r to the power of n would be represented as 10.0, and this total length would be n plus 1, and this would be the position number n. So same thing happens here. So when you subtract a 1 from that number, what you will get is each digit becoming the maximum digit possible in that number system, and the length of that number would be n, not n plus 1 anymore, 1 bit reduced, would be n. So n number of q's would be there, minus this number is already given to you, and a plus 1. Now what is happening here, you see that at every position you are required to subtract the digit from the maximum digit which is possible in that number system. This operation q minus di, q is the maximum digit possible and d is any digit. This operation is called complementing of the bits or the digits, complementing of the digits. This is a very simple operation. You know the maximum digit possible, you subtract a particular digit from that. and you will always get a number, you will always get a value here, you will always get a value here without taking any borrow or anything. So suppose you are dealing with decimal number system, this q is 9 and all your numbers are less than 9. So suppose you want to find, you want to complement the complementing of the digits. So if you want to complement 2, then you subtract 2 from here and what you get is 7. If you want to complement 3, you subtract 3 from here and what you get is 6. You also note that if you want to take a complement of 7, it would be 2, and if you want to take a complement of 6, it would be 3. So the digit complements add up to 9, add up to q, basically q for any particular number system. The complements add up to q. So this complementation is very easy and especially easy for binary number system because there are only two digits 1 and 0, and 1 is complement of 0, 0 is complement of 1. So it is not even a subtraction, it is simply a flipping of the bits. So it is simply flipping of the bits. So in binary you simply flip the bits and then don't forget to add this 1. This adding of the 1 is important because of this how it is derived. So when you want to find out the complement of a number, so n is given to you, what you are doing, you are simply complementing each of the digits and adding a 1. That's all you are doing. So you can, in this way you can always find out the complement pair. This is in radix complement representation. So this is what we have shown here again. So if you want to take a complement of a number, then this is what you do. You simply flip the, if you simply take the complement of the digits and then add a 1. How this is useful? That question, how this is useful in representing negative numbers, representing negative quantity. So this we actually consider, so this is now a consideration. This is a consideration that the complement of a positive quantity, the complement of a number representing a positive quantity, complement, so try to listen to my words carefully, I am using very specific terms. The complement of a number representing a positive quantity is the number representing the corresponding negative quantity. The complement of a number representing a positive quantity is the number representing the corresponding negative quantity. You see this in this blue box. Now you see that this n dashed is basically the radix complement representation of, this is a quantity minus q in radix R system. Of course we are in radix R system, so forget about this part of the sentence. So if you just simply forget about this part of the sentence, you just look here, you want to find out the, so in radix complement representation, every number is a RC representation of a quantity. In radix complement representation, every number is a radix complement representation of a particular quantity. Suppose you are already given the positive number. Positive number means a number which is representing a positive quantity. You already know that. Suppose you already know that. Then the radix complement representation of the negative quantity. So if you know that n, if you know that n is the radix complement representation of the positive quantity plus q, then we say that the radix complement representation of minus q is n. dashed r. This is a sort of imposition. See, the numbers are complement of each other. Now what we do, we impose the idea that this number, which is the complement of n, is the radix complement representation of minus q. This is a sort of imposition. We assign that number, we assign the complement number as the complement representation of minus. So if you have a number n which is the complement representation of plus q, then n dashed which is the complement of n is the complement representation of minus q. I again repeat this. If you already know, so I am already assuming that I know the number which is the radix complement of plus q, then the number which is the radix complement of minus q is nothing but complement of this number n, which you already know. So what are the steps to find out the complement representation of minus q? These are the steps. Step 1. So the question is, find out the radix complement of minus q. Q is obviously a magnitude and a value. So minus q is going to give you a negative number. So what has to be done? We have to take the positive number first. This we know. How do we know that? Is the next question to be answered. But let us assume at this step that we know this positive number, which is the representation of q, plus q. Then we complement, when we then the thing is that we want to see what is the RC representation of minus q. That is what we need to find out. Nothing but the complement of this number n. So to complement it, we complement each digit, then add 1. That's all. So what is remaining here is to understand what is this positive number for the positive quantity. That is very simple. It is same as the binary. It is same as the binary. So if you have a binary number 0, 0, 1, 1, what is the magnitude? Plus 3. This is the same. This is also the binary, and this is also the 2's complement representation. Incidentally, this is also the signed magnitude. So all these in positive numbers, these are all same. In positive numbers, these are all same. If I tell you that in the positive, for the positive number, the binary and the 2's complement exactly the same, then I might be doing a mistake, because 1, 1 in binary is 3, but 1, 1 in 2's complement would not be plus 3. What I should say in order that I am accurate, exactly 100% accurate, is this, that the signed magnitude of the number will be equals to, so this be equals to the 2's complement for the same length of representation. If I use 4 bits, then this. So the signed magnitude representation of a positive number is also the 2's complement representation of the same positive number. So here the sign magnitude comes into play a bit. But even if you did not know the idea of sign magnitude, what you would do basically, you would represent the positive quantity, in this case it is 3, and pad with zeros to fill up the length of the number. Suppose I am using 4-bit word, and what you get would also be the 2's complement representation. One thing you have to note, that you have to keep at least one place, here I have kept 2 places, at least one place should be kept in order to add a 0, so that we indicate that it is a positive number, because this is also the 2 sign magnitude representation. So for indicating that it is a positive number, we have to keep the MSB as 0. So the length of the number must be such that there is a provision to keep the to make the MSD as 0. So I hope this is clear to you. So just doing a wrap up on radix complement representation. If you require to, suppose the question is to find out the 2's complement representation of -3 in so many number of bits. So one cannot ask you to find 2's complement of -3 in 2 bits. One cannot, because in 2 bits only the magnitude part can be represented. The magnitude part of 3 can be represented in 2 bits. So I have to go to at least 3 bits in order to represent the signed magnitude of +3. So sometimes, to confuse you, this sort of question can also be asked. Represent -3 in 2-bit binary. You have to say this cannot be done, because to represent -3 you have to know first the 2's complement of +3, which is same as the 2 signed magnitude of +3. And when I am talking about signed magnitude, there must be a bit to denote the sign. You cannot simply denote the magnitude and leave it. And the magnitude of 3 requires 2 bits to be represented. So I need the third bit, at least a third bit, if not more, in order to represent the signed magnitude. So here, suppose I have asked you the question, represent -3 in 4-bit in 4-bit 2's complement representation. Then what you would do? You would look at +3 first. You would look at +3 first. In +3, what you would do? You would take the 2 signed magnitude representation in 4 bits. So magnitude comes 1 1. Then you have 2 more bits to fill. The MSB would be 0. What would be the other bit? That would also be 0, because these 3 bits would totally form your magnitude of 3, and this is representing the plus. So this is the 2 sign magnitude, and that is the same as the 2's complement representation. So for a positive quantity, the sign magnitude and the radix complement are the same. So you get the 2's complement representation of +3. Now you take a 2's complement of this number and you see what you are getting. That would be the 2's complement representation of -3. So you take the 2's complement, what you are getting. For taking 2's complement, you have to flip the numbers, flip the bits here, or take the complement of each of the bits and then add a 1. So you are getting this, and that is the 2's complement representation of -3. You notice one thing, I have written here 2C, I have written here 2CR. because I am telling here that this number is 2's complement of this number. This number what I get is the 2's complement representation of minus 3. So when I add the word representation, then I am talking about representation of a quantity. When I don't add the word representation, I am talking about complement of a number. So I hope by now what are quantities and what are numbers are clear to you. So you would be able to differentiate this terminology. With all this, after all this, we look at another representation, which is the diminished radix complement representation, which is very straightforward, nothing very unusual. If you understand radix complement, diminished radix is also understood. Here what we do, instead of defining the complement of a number, so instead of defining complement of a number as Rn minus Nr, we are defining the complement as Rn minus 1 minus Nr. So the minus 1 is included here. Previously what we are doing, in order to find out the complement, we are doing minus 1 plus 1. So that is not needed anymore. That plus 1 is not needed anymore. So what is left is only complementing the bits. That is diminished radix. Easier. So you don't have to remember adding the 1. So you have to only complement the bits. So this is in diminished radix complement representation. So if you have radix as 2 binary system, so what you are doing is 1's complement representation. Previously we learned about 2's complement representation. Now we are looking at 1's complement representation. Previously what we did was 2's complement of a number. Now what we will do is 1's complement of a number. 1's complement is nothing but complementing each of the bits, simply flipping the bits. In general, diminished radix complement is taking the complement of each digit, that is subtracting a digit from the maximum digit possible in that number system. This is R minus 1 complement representation of minus q. So this number is representation of plus q in R minus 1 complement representation. This number is representation of minus q in R minus 1 complement representation. So again we are in the question, what is this number which represents plus q in diminished radix representation? Where if we know this number, we can also represent minus q by simply flipping the bits, by simply taking the complement of the digits. In case of binary, simply flipping the bits. So this is a question again to be asked, what is the number which represents plus q in diminished radix number system? Again the answer is same. It is the signed magnitude representation of the number with the given length of digits. So if it is a binary number, it is the 2 signed magnitude representation of the positive number and given the length of bits, length of the word that you are asked to represent it. So again we take the same example. Suppose we want to look at the 1's complement representation of minus 3. So we need to see what is the 1's complement representation of plus 3. For that we have to see what is the 2 signed magnitude of plus 3. Suppose we use 4 bits. So again these are the same. These two are the same as previous. And now what we have to do, we have to take a 1's complement of this number and we would get the 1's complement representation of minus 3. Just note the fact that the 1's complement representation of the negative number is 1 less than the 2's complement representation of the same negative number, whereas the positive numbers remain the same. So this is the difference. You look at here, minus 3's 2's complement representation is 1101, plus 3 is 0 0 1 1, here minus 3 is 1 1 0 0, and plus 3 is still 0 0 1 1. That is the thing. That is the thing. So this is how, this is about representing a negative quantity in a complement representation. There are two types of complement representations: radix complement and diminished radix complement. There are no r minus 2 or r minus 3 systems. There are only r and r minus 1 systems. These are the systems which we work with because these give us very easy complements of numbers, and in these systems the normal binary addition algorithm works in case we want to subtract a larger number from a smaller number or a smaller number from a larger number. There is no problem in doing the subtraction using the help of the complement represented numbers. So that is the beauty of the complement representation. We look at the 2's complement representations and the 1's complement representations for 4-bit numbers. Now for 4-bit number, of course you can understand that there are, so if you have 4-bit numbers, how many total numbers you can list? How many total numbers you can list? You can list actually 16 numbers, right? 2 to the power of 4 numbers you can list down. Out of these 16 numbers, what would be like, like all the positive numbers, all the positive numbers would have to have the MSB as 0, correct? That is one thing, because the positive representation is same as the sign magnitude representation, so the first bit would be 0. So with 0 as the first bit, how many numbers are there? There are actually 8 numbers, but right now we are not considering the 0, so let us suppose there are 7 numbers from plus 1 to plus 7. So when we increase it to the next digit here is basically 1000, and it is not having 0 as the MSB, so this number cannot represent a positive number. So the numbers lesser than this number, which are these as listed down in this column, and they represent the positive quantities which are given in the first column. This is now very obvious to you. So if you are given any number in the second column and you are told that these numbers are in 2's complement representation, you would very well know that this is same as the 2 sign magnitude representation. So you will be able to figure out what is the quantity or what is the value represented by this number, and for that you would look at the MSB and see that it is 0, so it is positive, and the rest of the the rest of the number is giving the magnitude, and you will be able to figure out the magnitude. Now what you can do, you can simply take the complement of these numbers and they will represent the corresponding negative quantities. You can simply take the 2's complement representation of 2's complement of these numbers in the second column, and they would represent the corresponding negative quantities. So these are the 2's complement representations and the negative quantities. So you see, these two, the second column and the third column, are 2's complement of each other, So if one is giving a positive quantity, the other is giving a negative quantity. If one is giving a negative quantity, the other is giving a positive quantity. Also, like as I have noted down, that the numbers in the second column are 2's complement representations of the quantities in the first column. The numbers in the third column are the 2's complement representations of the quantities in the fourth column. What about the two numbers we have left out? 0000 and 1000. You see, we have left out. So we have covered all the 14 numbers here, but total there were 16 numbers. Which numbers did we leave out? From here you can see we have left out 0000, and from this list you can see we have left out 1000. 0000 is 2's complement representation of 0. Very easy to see because the MSB is 0, so it is a positive quantity. What is the magnitude? Rest of the digits 0. So it is a 2's complement representation of 0. What is 2's complement representation of 1000? This quantity is the MSB is 1. So the MSB is 1, so this is a negative quantity. Why I am saying that 100 is 0 is -8? Because if you take the complement of this number, what are you supposed to get? You are supposed to get the positive value, right? The positive value you are supposed to get of the value, the positive quantity you are supposed to get. So let us do the complement and see what happens. So if you do the complement, you are getting 0 1 1 1 plus 1, which is again 1000, and here again you find out that it is a negative number. So there is a problem here actually, and this is a problem of two it is called the extra negative number. This is the problem of the extra negative number which happens in case of a 2's complement representation. However, I am assigning this as -8. Why? Because I am looking at the series of numbers which are coming one after another, and from this I have the idea that if I have 1000 here, this would be -8, and the complement of the number 1000 is again 1000. So the complement of the quantity -8 is again -8. So the complement maps to itself, which is not usually the case. Every complement maps to its corresponding negative number, or the sign is opposite, as you can see in this table. However, for the -8 it is the same, so we get an extra negative number. Basically the positive value of +8 is not there, and 0 is only 1. So if you take the 2's complement of this 0000, you land up on this number. But since we are dealing with 4-bit numbers, this is extra, this is additional, and we can discard this. The 4 bits that we have are again 0000. So we don't have two different representations of 0. So there is no problem of 20. So we did not find this problem of 20 before. So why I am talking about problem of 20? Remember, there was a problem of 20 in the 2 sign magnitude representation. So we could have represented as 0000, also as 1000. Both were representing 0, right? So there is no problem of 2 zeros here. And also I mention it here because when we look at 1's complement representation, we will find that the problem of 2 zeros is also coming there. So let us look at the 1's complement representation, but before that just want to state that the range of values in n-bit 2's complement representation is this: -2 to the power of n minus 1 to 2 to the power of n minus 1 minus 1. Just this example that you have already seen right now, n was 4. So what is the maximum, what is the range? The extreme negative value that you saw was -8. It is -2 to the power of 3, and the largest value, positive value, that you could see was 2 to the power of 3 minus 1, which is 7. So if you look back in the table, you can see that the largest value is +7 and the smallest value is plus 8. So this is the range of quantities getting covered, range of values getting covered by the n bit 2's complement representation. Now coming to 1's complement representation, 4 bit, again we are considering 4 bit for the purpose of this table that I am showing. Again the 16 bits can be broken up, and you can see that I am not considering the 0 right away. From 1 to 7 all are given by the positive numbers because the MSB is 0. So this, what is the value contained in these numbers, you can easily find out. These are nothing but the two sign magnitude representations. So what is the quantity, you can easily find out. When you do the complement of these numbers, whatever number you find out is giving us the complement, 1's complement representation of the corresponding negative value. So you can see that from this table. Again this relationship holds. So the second and third column are complements of each other, and the second column is the 1's complement representation of first column. Third column is the 1's complement representation of the fourth column, and second and third column are 1's complement representations of each other. Which are the numbers which we have left out? One number we have left out is 0 0 0 0. Another number we have left out is 1 1 1 1. So let us see what about these numbers. So you see that 0 0 0 0 is of course 1's complement of plus 0. What is 1 1 1 1? Is a negative number because you don't have 0 in the MSB, you have 1 in the MSB. So it is of course a negative number. Find out its positive value. What we have to do, we have to take the complement of this number, so you can get the corresponding positive number and then you can evaluate the positive value. So let us do. So 1's complement we have to do simply flipping the bits. In this case it is 0 0 0. So what is the magnitude? Magnitude is 0. So this is minus 0, which is same as 0. So there are two zeros here, but there is no problem of an extra negative number. You see, there is no problem of an extra negative number. Each positive number is having a corresponding negative number. Each negative number is having a corresponding positive number. There are of course two zeros which are here in the 1's complement representation. So this is a feature, and the range of values you can understand very clearly. As you can see from the table here, it is from minus 2 to the power of n minus 1 minus 1 to the power of n minus 1 minus. That is the range of value. This is a chart which you can look at in order to understand the terminologies very well. So you see what is happening here. I have already been using these terminologies, so hopefully it is clear by now, but again I have represented it in a way. So this positive quantity, you have a complement representation of the positive quantity, which is a positive number. You take a complement of that, you get a negative number, which is a complement representation of the negative quantity. So as such you will not understand positive, and you will not have a sign as plus or minus in the positive and negative numbers. What you will notice is that the positive number is starting with 0 and the negative number is starting with 1. So that is what you will notice. So the numbers are complements of each other, and they are complement representations of corresponding positive and negative quantities. So that is what you have to remember. So this is the end of the lecture, and we have covered all the different signed numbers, signed number representations. One is the signed magnitude, one is the radix complement, another is the diminished radix complement. So out of this, signed magnitude is important because it gives us a positive number right away, which is useful in order to understand the positive numbers in the complement representations, which is then useful to find out the complement of those positive numbers which represent the corresponding negative quantity. However, when you are taking the complement, for radix complement, it is taking complement of each digits and adding a 1. In diminished radix complement, it is taking complement of each digit, and that's all, nothing else. So in radix and diminished radix complement, the positive quantity is represented by the same number. However, the negative quantity is represented by different numbers which differ by a 1 basically. Okay. So this is all, and this is all about the representations, and in the next lecture we will see how these representations are useful. This complement representation basically is useful to carry out arithmetic operations using negative quantities. So we will only see the addition operation basically, which will also be the subtraction operation when we are dealing. So thank you for your attention, and see you in the next lecture.